Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about a successful life. Not the kind measured by money, fame, or titles, but the kind that leaves a legacy of purpose, peace, and impact. You see, success has been redefined by the world. We're told it's in the car we drive, the size of our house, or the number of followers we have. But real success doesn't come with a price tag. It comes with principle. A truly successful life is built on 5 unshakable foundations: purpose, discipline, integrity, love, and faith. Let me walk you through them. First, purpose. A life without purpose is like a ship without a compass. You might float, you might even move, but you're lost. Success begins when you ask, "Oh, why am I here?" Everyone has a calling. It might not be loud or public, but it is real. Discovering that purpose is the beginning of a meaningful life. Second, discipline. No matter how talented or passionate you are, without discipline, it all fades. Discipline means doing what's right, even when it's hard. It's waking up early, staying humble, pushing forward when others quit. Success doesn't come to the lazy. It rewards the diligent. The third, integrity. Your character is who you are when no one's watching. A successful life is one where your actions align with your values. You can build a career on charm, but only character will keep it standing. What good is reaching the top if you lose yourself on the way? Fourth, love. You are not truly successful if you walk alone. Love your family, love your neighbors, serve others. It's not weakness, it's strength. The people you lift along the way will be the true reflection of your success. And fifth, faith. There are moments when your strength will run out, your plans will fall apart. That's when faith steps in. A successful life is not one free from struggle, it's one anchored in belief. Belief in something greater, absolutely. Here's an expanded 700-word segment focusing entirely on purpose as the first keynote from the speech, written in a clear educational tone, inspired by Billy Graham's style. A life without purpose is one that drifts. It may be full of motion, but it lacks direction. Purpose is not just a motivational idea. It is the very foundation upon which a meaningful life is built. It gives clarity when confusion sets in, strength when adversity strikes, and peace when everything else seems uncertain. Without it, even the most outwardly successful person can feel empty. A man may climb the highest ladder in his career, only to find it leaned against the wrong wall. That's the tragedy of living without purpose. Purpose is not something you find by accident. It's something you seek, something you ask for, something you reflect on deeply. It may not come overnight. It may take time, prayer, and even pain. But once you discover it, you'll begin to see everything differently. You'll stop comparing yourself to others because you'll realize your path is uniquely yours. Purpose removes confusion because it sets your priorities in order. It helps you say, "I know" to the things that don't align with your calling, and yes to the things that do. Now, many people ask, how do I know my purpose? That's a good question. Purpose is often found where your greatest passion meets the world's greatest need. It's not always grand or glamorous. Some are called to speak, others are called to serve quietly. Some are called to lead thousands, others are called to care for one. Purpose doesn't require a stage. It only requires obedience. It may be raising a family, teaching a classroom, planting a garden, or running a business with integrity. If you're doing what you were made to do, no matter how small it seems to the world, you are living with purpose. Purpose gives strength in the face of struggle. When you know why you're doing something, you can endure almost anything. People who live without purpose crumble under pressure because they don't see the bigger picture. But those with purpose press on, not because life is easy, but because they know it's worth it. They see beyond the moment. They see the mission. Purpose also leads to fulfillment. We live in a generation that has more convenience than any before it, yet many are more restless than ever. That's because true satisfaction doesn't come from comfort. It comes from contribution. You can own everything the world has to offer and still feel like something's missing. That something is often purpose. When you begin to live beyond yourself to make a difference in the lives of others, something inside you comes alive. It's the spark that tells you, this is what I was born to do. But let me be honest, purpose is not always comfortable. In fact, it often requires sacrifice. It may ask you to leave what is safe. It may call you to walk a road few others understand. But if you obey that inner voice, that sense of divine direction, you will walk with a confidence that no applause or approval could ever give you. You'll know you are doing what you were created to do. Too many people are waiting for a perfect moment or a sign in the sky. But often, purpose begins when you take the next right step. You don't need to see the whole path to start walking it. Begin with what's in your hand. Be faithful in what you've been given. If you're unsure where to begin, serve someone. Speak encouragement. Practice kindness. Purpose often shows itself when you stop asking, "What do I want out of life?" and start asking, "What does life need from me?" Let us remember, you were not made by mistake, and you were not made for yourself. But your gifts, your story, your life, they all carry a reason. You matter, and your purpose matters. The world doesn't need more people chasing attention. It needs more people answering their call. And when you live out your purpose, you don't just succeed, you make a difference. And that, my friend, is the beginning of a truly successful life. Certainly, here's the expanded 700-word segment for Keynote #2. Discipline, continuing in the same educational and morally grounded tone. Discipline is the bridge between desire and achievement. It is what turns dreams into reality and intentions into outcomes. While talent may open the door, it is discipline that keeps it open. Many people start well. They have enthusiasm, excitement, and ambition, but few finish strong because they lack the staying power that only discipline provides. The truth is, anything worthwhile in life requires effort, and effort sustained over time is what we call discipline. Discipline is not about punishment or harsh living. It is about training. Just like an athlete conditions their body through daily routine, so must a person condition their life through consistent choices. Discipline means doing what is right, even when it's hard. It means showing up when you'd rather sleep in, working when you feel tired, and holding your tongue when you want to lash out. It means choosing long-term gain over short-term pleasure. In a world that glorifies comfort and convenience, discipline is often misunderstood. People confuse freedom with indulgence, but real freedom comes through discipline. The student who studies is free to pass. The musician who practices is free to play. The leader who prepares is free to guide. Without discipline, we become slaves to our impulses. With it, we master them. We may not always feel like being kind, focused, honest, or responsible, but discipline doesn't wait for feelings. It acts on values, not moods. Discipline begins with the small things. The way you start your day, the way you manage your time, the way you treat others in private, these form the building blocks of character. We don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our habits. A successful life is not the result of one big decision, but 1,000 small ones made consistently. Every day is a choice. Every moment is a test. And every test passed strengthens the foundation of a disciplined life. Now, discipline often involves sacrifice. You have to give up something to gain something greater. It may be giving up late nights so you can rise early. It may be saying no to distractions so you can focus on your calling. It may be turning down immediate gratification to stay committed to your values. These sacrifices may not make headlines, but they shape lives. They form the unseen character that shows up in public strength. Without sacrifice, there is no progress. Without discipline, there is no stability. And here's something people often overlook. Discipline doesn't eliminate freedom. It enhances it. A disciplined person is free to live intentionally, free to choose wisely, and free from regret. People without discipline often find themselves stuck in cycles, financially, emotionally, spiritually, not because they lack opportunity, but because they lack consistency. They start, then stop. They try, then quit. But those who stay the course, even when it's hard, are the ones who bear fruit in due time. It's also important to understand that discipline is not perfection. Everyone falls. Everyone stumbles. Discipline doesn't mean you never make mistakes. It means you keep getting up. It means you don't allow failure to define you. You learn, you adjust, you press forward. A disciplined life is not a flawless life, but it is a focused one. It is one that has direction, accountability, and a willingness to grow. Discipline must also be applied to the inner life, not just the outer routines. It's one thing to control your schedule. It's another to control your thoughts. It's one thing to manage your time. It's another to manage your attitude. A truly disciplined person watches over their emotions, keeps guard over their words, and feeds their mind with truth. They don't let bitterness grow roots or fear dictate decisions. They recognize that the mind is the battlefield, and it must be trained daily. The most successful lives are not necessarily the most gifted, but often the most disciplined. It's the person who keeps showing up, keeps growing, keeps obeying that inner compass. In the quiet hours, when no one is watching, they're choosing what is right, and those choices add up. They build a life that can weather storms, resist temptation, and remain steadfast in a world that is always shifting. Discipline is the difference between a good intention and a great legacy. It's what transforms inspiration into impact. And though it often feels hard in the moment, its rewards are lasting. Over time, a disciplined life becomes a strong life. And a strong life is a successful one, not because it's perfect, but because it is anchored in choices that matter. Integrity is the soul of a successful life. It is what holds everything together when the pressures of life try to pull things apart. You can have talent, intelligence, and influence, but without integrity, it will all eventually crumble. Integrity is being the same person in private that you are in public. It's choosing honesty when a lie would be easier. It's keeping your word even when it costs you something. It's walking a straight path even when no one is watching. In a world filled with shortcuts and compromises, integrity is becoming rare. But that's what makes it so powerful. It is the quiet strength behind lasting respect. Anyone can impress for a moment, but only a person of integrity can be trusted over time. Trust is not built by charm. It is built by character. And character is proven in the dark when decisions are made not for applause, but for principle. Purpose is the compass that gives direction to a successful life. Without it, even the most gifted individuals can drift, wander, or eventually feel empty. Purpose is not just about having something to do. It's about having something worth living for. It is the deep inner conviction that your life is not an accident, that you were created with intention, and that your existence holds meaning far beyond what can be measured by titles, trophies, or financial gain. A person without purpose may be busy, but they are not fulfilled. They may have motion, but not direction. Purpose doesn't always come as a sudden revelation. Often it unfolds over time. It is discovered through experience, reflection, and paying attention to what truly stirs your heart. It may begin as a quiet nudge, a desire to serve, a longing to help, a passion to create, or a burden to make something better. Purpose doesn't shout, it whispers. And it invites you to live beyond the surface, to rise above routine, and to make your time here count for something that will outlive you. A life of purpose brings focus. It keeps you from chasing everything that glitters and teaches you to discern what truly matters. You learn to say no to distractions so you can say yes to your calling. You stop comparing your journey to others because you understand that your assignment is unique. Success then becomes less about being the best and more about being faithful to what you were made to do. Purpose gives you the strength to persevere when things get hard because you're not just working for a paycheck, you're building something with eternal value. Living with purpose also brings joy. There's a kind of satisfaction that can't be found in possessions or praise, but only in knowing you're aligned with your reason for being. Even the hard days feel meaningful when you know they're contributing to a bigger picture. Purpose gives your pain context. It turns setbacks into lessons, trials into testimonies, and challenges into opportunities for growth. A person of purpose understands that every season has value, that nothing is wasted, and that even the waiting has a role in shaping the future. Purpose also makes your relationships richer. When you live with intention, you begin to see others differently. You're no longer consumed by selfish gain. Instead, you become someone who adds value, who uplifts, who leads by serving. You realize that your gifts were never meant just for you. They were given to be shared. And as you pour into others, you begin to experience a deeper kind of fulfillment. The kind that can't be bought or achieved, only received through giving. But purpose is not always easy to live out. It will be tested. There will be days when you doubt it, when it feels hidden or far off. There may be detours, delays, or seasons of silence where you wonder if what you're doing really matters. In those moments, the temptation is to settle, to trade purpose for comfort, to give up on the calling because it's not producing fast results. But purpose isn't measured by speed, it's measured by faithfulness. It's not about how quickly you climb, but how deeply you remain rooted when the winds blow. And purpose is not limited to a job title or a career path. It runs deeper than that. It is who you are, not just what you do. You can live your purpose in a boardroom, a classroom, a kitchen, or a hospital. You can live it raising children, building a business, mentoring others, creating art, or offering a listening ear. Your purpose might look different in different seasons, but the heart behind it remains the same: to live for something bigger than yourself. Too many people spend their lives chasing success without ever stopping to ask why. They gain wealth but lose wonder. They collect achievements but feel no fulfillment. That is the tragedy of a life without purpose. It can be full and still feel empty. But when you discover your purpose and begin to live it daily, everything changes. Work becomes more than a task. Time becomes more than a clock. Life becomes more than survival. It becomes sacred. Purpose is what awakens you in the morning and gives peace when you lie down at night. It doesn't make life easier, but it makes it worth living. It fuels resilience, inspires courage, and ignites passion. And though the world may not always recognize it, a life lived with purpose will leave an impact that far outweighs its applause.